such an asshole!
Hey everybody, the old captain here. Continuing on with Asshole Consulting this gorgeous day. I am not going to get out before noon. I'm actually going to have to do like 3 hours of work today. That sucks. I did manage to take a shower, but have yet not got to the hair combing stage. You have to do that in increments. If you rush it, it gets done all wrong. Hello, Aaron. A little background first. I studied electrical engineering and math and did very well. Unfortunately, I was forced to take garbage Marxist-ridden elective courses such as world religions and Asian studies, and all my other classes were STEM-related. As such, I graduated without having taken a single course in economics or business. Fortunately, I am capable of teaching myself complex ideas. Most of my professors did not speak a word of English and would like to learn business without having to go through all the associated bullshit of school. So my question is, what sources, books, videos, websites do you recommend? I learned from in order to start a business. What do you suggest I do to gain enough information in accounting, finance, law, management, marketing, and other fields I would need to know? I want to be certain that I have done proper research before beginning anything major. Regards, please keep my name anonymous. All right, we'll keep you anonymous. All right, so I took some notes. Of course, the leaf blower. There's no fucking leaves in fucking Phoenix. You know, they gotta make noise all the time. I'm gonna get my house in the middle of fucking nowhere in South Dakota. There won't be anybody making noise. Is this it? Okay, here we go. All right. Out of everything you listed there, I'll pull up the notes later. The only thing that I'd really worry about, I've told this to other people before, is accounting. That's the number one thing you gotta learn. Okay, so I would dedicate, well, because it's the only thing to learn. Marketing, business management, all this other shit, that's common sense. You don't need, anyone has, I got a degree in business. Well, what's your specialty? Finance, accounting? No, business. Like, get the fuck out of here. You're fucking worthless. You are of no value. And you could tell this when you read through marketing books, human resources, general management books. When you read through it, it is common sense, like 1 or 2 sentences of common sense stretched out a 400-page book. And I'm not joking. You'll see things like these diagrams. It's a Porter's 5 forces model. And if I ever find Porter, I'm going to punch him in his nose. I'm not going to, but I'd like to. And it's just this academian pablum bullshit. These frauds, these professors who've never worked a job in their life. And some of them did, and those are the better ones. But a lot of these, they've never set foot in the real world. They haven't ran a business. They don't start a business. So don't bother listening to it. You're not missing out on anything. It is common sense. But what few things there are learned to business, it'd be accounting. I'd say a little bit of business structure, kind of like what legal entity do you want to set up, and then law. But I'm going to have you outsource that to a lawyer because it's just not worth your time to get into law. So, accounting. All right, here's what you need to learn from accounting. I want you to write this down. You can play it back. All right, this is what you need to learn. We'll go where you can find this stuff down the road. All right, first you need to learn how to read and set up financial statements. Read and analyze financial statements. Okay, so that includes the balance sheet. That includes the income statement. I wouldn't worry about the cash flow statement or the statement of equity. There's 4 of them, but the 2 main ones you got to know: the income statement and the balance sheet. The other 2, fuck it, don't worry about it. You're not a publicly traded corporation. The other thing you have to learn is the accounting cycle. Now, this may not be necessary. If you're not going to have a balance sheet, which you're just going to follow your taxes, you have an LLC or a DBA, which we'll get to later. If you don't need to put together a balance sheet, you're saving yourself a lot of time with accounting. My personal accounting method, heck, you know what? I got it here because I had to do my taxes. Let me show you. Hang on. What the fuck? All right, here we go. Look, see? That's my accounting box. I throw all my receipts in here. I'll show you. Good timing on this request there, kid. And let me just pull up. Where is it? Oh, they're all down here. Wrong pile. Okay. For example, all right, here, medical. And all I did, and I throw all the receipts into that box. And then when it comes tax time, I got to do my taxes. I put them all together and, I bind it together, go through the receipts. It takes a couple hours to do. But I organize them into respective expenses, medical. Okay. Office expense, not a lot there. All right, but office expense. You know, fuel, labor, all that other stuff. And I just put in an Excel spreadsheet and I put together my income statement. And that. So that's enough of an accounting method that you need for your own entrepreneurial stuff. But if you ever wanted to become a bookkeeper or an accountant, you're going to have to learn the accounting cycle. So that's optional, time-consuming, very boring. Depends on whether or not you're actually going to have a balance sheet. Taxes and tax forms. I would learn to do your own taxes. Still take it to my good friend, Chad Elkins at elkinscpa.com. Have him sign off on it. But I would still, at least up front, start doing your own taxes so you understand how they work. Now, they're going to follow very similarly to an income statement. But it's also good to know how your taxes work, how deductions work. So a lot of people, oh yeah, we talked about business, let's write it off. And then you got an audit by the state or federal tax-paying agent, or local if you happen to be idiot and live in fucking Ohio. And all these other places have local income taxes. It's good to know that simply so you abide by the law and don't land in fucking jail. So then you put together your taxes, but then you always give it to a CPA to give it the once over, give it the blessing, hobbity hobbity, Lord, saints, sinners, and all in between. I pass this on to thine IRS tax form. So that's something good to learn. And then I would also learn Excel if you don't know it already. That's good where you can make your own financial statements. It's not that hard. But then also QuickBooks, which is, I have my own accounting system with the box, obviously. But QuickBooks automates a lot of this stuff. And it's kind of the universal standard accounting software. And it can be done online. They have an online enterprise version. And that's just a good thing to learn. And right there, you're going to knock out, I'd say, at least 75% of your problems that fuck people up when it comes to entrepreneurship, running their own business. All right? The next thing you're going to want to learn is you're going to want to learn about business structures, like the legal entity that you will form your company under. Do you want an LLC? Do you want an S Corp? Do you want a C Corp? There's pros and cons to each. This is what you'd be studying. I don't have the time to go through it right now. But you'd go online, you research it. Investopedia.com is one place to go ahead and take a look at that for vocabulary terms. But you're probably, especially if you're starting off small, you're going to be looking at a single member LLC. Write that down because that's probably what you're going to start out as. And then not only learn about these structures, but learn why you have them for legal protection reasons. That's the predominant main reason why you're doing that. These also then determine the ownership structure. Like, okay, do I get paid a K-1 distribution? Don't worry about that. Am I? In other words, am I an employee of my own company? I just collect a salary, or do I get a dividend distribution? Am I paid dividends, profits out of the company? Am I paid withdrawals of equity? And these all have different. Like Warren Buffett. He only pays capital gains tax because he set up his corporation, the Berkshire Hathaway, that way. I don't think it's an LLC. Yeah, it's not an LLC. It's not a pass-through entity. But those are the things you're going to want to learn. So those two things are what you have to learn. The rest of it, fuck it. It's common sense. It's not and specific to your business. Yeah, you might pick up one or two things about marketing. You might pick up one or two things about management if you take a managerial class. But your company is going to be so specific to you and set up a certain way. You're going to know exactly what to do. And then I'd say marketing is maybe, it's not a skill you learn. You either have it or you don't. And marketing is one of those things, kind of like law, I'd outsource it. So it's up to you, but yeah, I would not waste your time with human resources, organizational management. MIS wouldn't hurt. Like if you want to take a class on it. But that's just IT, so you teach yourself how to set up set up your website, register your domain, set up an email, pay the fees, program your site, and you can have a fine-looking website like I do at assholeconsulting.com. That's what happens. Look, you too can. I admit it's a shitty-looking website, but it works. Okay, now, where do you find this shit? Where do you go to get this information? All right. For accounting especially, what I'd recommend is you go buy an old used college textbook. Things do not change. It's the 49th edition, so I'm going to charge you $300 because I'm a fucking prick with a small dick professor. Oh, yeah, there's been so much changing in accounting since last 6 months ago. So find some old, out-of-date textbook. More importantly, get the corresponding workbook with it. Or just go online and find a workbook that you can download. So whatever the cheapest way is, I'm sure there's certainly tutorials you can find online. But if you have a good workbook to actually go through the accounting cycle, compiling ledgers and a balance sheet, and reconciling it to an income statement. Everything balances out. That's definitely something that'll be helpful. Otherwise, you can take actual structured classes like Coursera, edX, Khan's Academy. Go online, take those classes if you want. And even me, I'm not that patient to tolerate the structure. I would, like the things I taught, balance sheet, income statement, taxes, QuickBooks, I'd go online. I mean, just go online and find out what you need to do. So there should be tutorials online. Investopedia has some pretty good tutorials. They're more finance-based, but still, Investopedia.com, look it up. It's a great place for vocabulary terms. But they also do have some pretty good tutorials. But any kind of like search on YouTube, the accounting cycle tutorial, balancing a ledger tutorial, how to put together an income statement tutorial. Learn that stuff, learn that online, and you don't have to take something, even though it's online, you don't have to take something as formalized as a Coursera or an edX type of class. And that's even assuming these classes are offered at, I think they're more IT, STEM, and science-based. Also got the online tutorials. Go ahead, Google search. Oh, the other thing, whatever works for you, do that. It doesn't have to be Coursera. It doesn't have to be YouTube tutorials. Whatever you take, whatever you all like. I really learned great this way, fine. If you had to buy 5 workbooks that go through the entire accounting cycle, you learn that, that's fine. If you have to, what is it? Buy the trial version or an outdated version of TurboTax to see how to set up taxes. And I know accountants are like, well, that's not really doing taxes. I know, baby step, guys. Let's just be easy on the kid. But buy TurboTax, buy QuickBooks. Learn how to use that online, learn the tutorials, and then when the time comes that you have your own business, you will know how to set up your own accounts. You're going to save a lot of time. I'd say even learn a little bit of financial analysis because you want to know how your company is performing. Accounting merely records what happens, and you can glean some information from it. That doesn't mean you're going to know how your company is doing. And then the final thing I recommend, because it benefits me, but also because it's going to benefit you, take the analysis and valuation of stocks. That's going to teach you how to read financial statements, balance sheet, income statement, and it's also going to teach all the financial ratio and performance measures that you can use and calculate to determine whether your company is doing well. So, anyway, that's all we got. You got questions, you know where to contact me, SL Consulting, as long as you got money. But that is what I'd recommend for anyone who doesn't want to major in business or accounting but wants to set up a company. Best of luck to all.